So, voted.
We
Voted.
voted today.
Yes. And this
We
is
officially voted today. So we got 1 point and about 25 assists.
yes. 25 We've been assisting the whole time.
We've been assisting a lot of people. Print out them sample ballots to make sure you know where you're going. Ask me any questions. So we got one under our belt. We got several assists. So we're still here for any questions. If
We're
you have any
still here.
questions,
We're still
let
here.
us know.
We dressed up tonight as our for Halloween.
I am informed and engaged voter.
And I am. This is my campaign banner um, that we wanted to display. I did not wear it to the polls. I don't know if that would have worked.
No, they would have put you out
But
probably.
it's here now. So while we're talking about getting things on, putting deportation, putting things away, let's work on that as well.
Yeah. So one of the things that we and this is what we always say about voting. Voting is maybe number 6 or 7 of the things that we should be doing. Voting is not a be all end all for everything. So in the meantime, before you get to go cast your vote, be involved in an organization that is doing things that you are passionate about. Whether that be the NAACP, the National Urban League, Poor People's Campaign for Us. Find something that features spirit, and also be engaged. Like, so once you vote, so we cast our vote today, and what I did was I went and voted for people who I feel like I can argue with it. So I voted for you. If you win, you gonna see me, right? Because you running on this platform that you said you gonna see me. So we don't just vote them in and let them be. We vote them in, then we hold them accountable. Okay. But if you're not engaged in the voting process, they may not want to hear from you. But yeah, they're gonna see me. And so that is the thing. So you vote for people who you think will at least listen to you. And take it into consideration what's important to you.
Yes.
So in doing that, we with the NAACP, we were able to be involved with the Souls to the Polls, which was very encouraging, very uplifting. We were in Raleigh. The Shaw University band came and they led us to the polls. We met at the MLK Gardens and we marched as a community, as a group to the Chavis Center, Chavis Park voting site. So a lot of people were there to, we weren't there alone. People were there able to cast their votes. We were there just cheering people on because, as we just said, we didn't vote that day. We voted today.
Yes.
But yeah, so just kind of get involved. So that was one of the things that we did. Did you have something you wanted to say about that?
And when you were talking about, getting engaged and do your research, find out people who are accessible and who are not. We have found out being down at the General Assembly on many occasions, and many occasions going down to discuss issues with the leaders. And we always request meetings from both sides. This is not a party affiliation. We challenge anyone that does not want, does not support people having a living wage, health care, workers' rights, women's rights, and all of those things that we stand for. And so we always are asking for meetings. Let's sit, let's talk to these people who are impacted, by the decisions. And there are groups who will meet, there are groups who will not meet. So, as you are, planning to put these people in office, as you're planning to vote for these, vote for those people again, like you said, who you can go speak to and who you have the ability to demand them to take their platform to make policies out of it. So they're just not out here, saying something and then do nothing afterwards. For the last longest, people are mad because certain presidents, certain people didn't do anything. Well, what did you get involved? Did you force that? What did you after the fact, after that ballot? That's just the step, like you said. It's time to really work after that.
And just as an example, so here we're in Southern Wake County, and right now our congressperson that's in our area has me blocked. So on social media, I used to comment on her page, and she used to take my comments down from her page. but now she blocks people from her page. She clearly don't want to hear from me.
Yeah.
She did not get my vote today.
Yeah. And
We're trying to flip this seat. And y'all, I know y'all, if you in Southern Wayne County, you seen those big obnoxious signs, you know, I'm talking about, don't want to give her no airtime. But she's not a person that I'm going to be able to talk to. I'm not going to be able to call her office, schedule a meeting. She won't even engage in social media, but she will take my comments down. So you go to these people's pages and you see they only have comments that are praising them. There's nothing that questions them. Just know that that's by design. I know, like I said, from experience, because I'm blocked.
Yeah.
And I can't make comments anymore.
Yep.
And these are our public officials. These people are not celebrities.
Nope.
These are people who we put in place to work for us. And so vote for people who you can argue with.
Yeah. And won't show up and support Klan rally they had last Sunday night in Madison Square Garden.
They're getting bolder and bolder.
Yep. So,
and they're voting.
They are out there.
They're voting.
So we need to make sure we're out there.
Make sure you get out there.
Yes.
Last week I was not here. I was not at home. I was away at the beach on our annual women's retreat. 7 days. I missed you, by the way.
Yeah.
7 days is a long time. I missed you. But it was good. Like, I really almost totally unplugged. I did a little bit of work when I felt like it, but it was just really good to not be on any schedule, to kind of just take some time to reflect, to glean from, because we probably had at least 3 generations there. So we had some young people, some middle-aged people like me, some elders. So it was just a good group of ladies that we could come together, share our experiences, learn from one another, grow in fellowship. So I enjoyed it, but I actually ended up coming home a day early because I missed you.
and we had a lot of work to do.
And we had a lot of work to do. So no rest but I was glad to get those days off.
Huh? I miss you.
I didn't miss you. I didn't have to come home.
I'm glad I missed you too.
Yeah.
And be gone a long time.
All right. Anything else? You want to talk about your anniversary that's coming up?
Anniversary coming up. It is
just pastoral anniversary.
Yeah. And so I think I saw it's 13 years.
13, lucky number 13.
13 years. That's been a long time. It's been quick. But it has been wonderful. Grateful for those folks at Shepherd's Flock Baptist Church. Can't say enough about those wonderful, wonderful folks. So
it has been a perfect marriage.
It has been good.
And they need to know, like, you be in it for the long haul. Like, this 31 years right here. So.
Yeah. I'm not leaving.
We don't enter into things lightly.
No, I'm not leaving. So yeah.
So
yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
But happy anniversary.
Yeah.
We've done some great things at Shepherd's Flock. We're glad to be.
Yes, and we're going to
that God has placed us there.
We're going to continue to do great things. And normally for most people, if you have been part of us and been before, normally second Sunday, the second weekend is normally the weekend we celebrate the anniversary. But there's a speaker that is coming that really wanted to be there, and the 17th worked out a whole lot better for our speaker. So we just moved it 1 week. So we'll be celebrating on the third Sunday this year, which that's all right. We're still going to celebrate, and we're grateful for all that is going to take place. So,
but also on that second Sunday, you have, I guess we would call him a brother in the ministry that is being ordained.
Definitely.
And so you are on the program for that. And so it just kind of speaks really, Wayne, to the person that you are, that you would just be so humble and selfless that you would give up maybe part of your anniversary to go and celebrate with somebody else. So
I want to be part of the ordination.
That's why I stay. That's why I stay here.
I want to be part of their ordination service. Is powerful, and he is a tremendous friend and been super supportive of everything that I've done, that we've done. So appreciate Minister, soon to be Reverend Kevin Thorpe. So shout out to you, my brother. Congratulations again, and appreciate you on this journey. So we look forward to your ordination service as well.
And I'm not even going to make a Methuselah joke about Kevin, but that's kind of what we do.
Yeah,
You do great things in your old age, Kevin.
Yeah. After you drove, after he drove your school bus, right?
Right.
I got you.
All right. So I'm just excited to get to our guest. I don't know that we have
I'm ready.
anything else that you wanted. Oh, one more thing, so that we don't forget. This weekend we fall back.
Oh yes.
We get that extra hour of sleep. So on Saturday night before you go to bed, do we still do that? Like, I'm so old school. Like, you ain't gotta do that no more. Your phone is gonna do it by itself.
Yeah.
If you still got a clock that you need to wind, you need to set that clock back. You probably gonna need to change your microwave. But other than that, all these high-tech things are gonna update themselves. So we will get an extra hour of sleep this Saturday night. I'll probably be up when the time changes because I'm just kind of a night owl like that. But yeah, don't forget to set your clocks back, or you'll be showing up early, which is probably not a bad thing. Show early on Sunday morning for church. Show early.
Yes. And I thought one time they were going to do away with that.
I thought so too. I thought there was actually a vote about it, but
let's get to saving money. I'm ready to save.
Yeah,
I'm ready to get some of my money back.
All right. So we are going to bring on Veronica Miles. She is the founder of Black Girl Money Woes. And we're going to just have her up. She's going to talk to us about a journey she's been on to eliminate her debt. And so, yeah, I know Wayne is probably very interested in having her come.
Yeah. Yes. I wanted to send her a couple of sneak questions.
Because I'll be out here like swiping, no swiping.
Yeah. I wanted to send her some stuff, but I didn't want to feel like we had talked.
Yeah, don't get personal. Don't get personal. We're not going to talk about house business. We're going to let Veronica come and talk to us about her business.
And I was like, you know what? She is like a prophetess or something. She is on it. How she know it?
Right before the holidays. So without further ado, let's bring up Veronica Miles of Black Girl Money Woes.
Yes.
Hi. Hello.
Hey, Veronica, how are you?
Doing well. Excited to be here.
Awesome. We're going to just dive right in. I don't know if Wayne is multitasking.
Yes.
He has the first question that we're gonna put up.
Yes. Let me get here. So again, grateful for you to be here. So what inspired you to start Black Girl Money Woes, and how has your personal journey influenced the content that you share?
Good question. So I've always desired to improve my relationship with money, kind of become debt free.
Mhm.
For years, I followed. There's a community on Instagram, the debt free community. You can find them by looking up the hashtag debt free community or DFC. But it's full of people who are just out trying to better their finances, trying to better their behaviors with money, improve, like plan for their future, get out of debt, savings. And I've always been like this silent lurker, like kind of looking behind the scenes, scrolling through. And I this is not my first time on this journey. Years I've always kind of been up and back and forth with getting out of debt and then getting back into debt. But I decided that I was ready for a change, and
Mm.
um I wanted to, so I created this page. I struggled with the decision to make it an anonymous journey or to show my face and have it a public journey. I had to kind of come to terms with, if it was public, that I was going to be kind of inviting the world in my business. And that means close family and friends, and not many people talk about finances
That's right.
for various reasons. And it can be a very like intimidating place to be so open and transparent about the finances. But this, I did this one really more so first for me, to kind of do something outside of my comfort zone, something different, something I recognized that what I'd done in the past hadn't worked for me. And I wanted to share my journey. I wanted to kind of show like that I feel like I'm just like a normal person, day-to-day person. I'm not
Hmm.
like this millionaire celebrity, person who's got all the money, but just an average girl who works her 9 to 5, hustles on the side, and who got into debt and wanted to get out. And so I decided to start this page to help hold me accountable, because I know once I kind of put it out there, I wouldn't want to come back and kind of not do what I said I was gonna do, and then have the world to kind of see that. Like it helped me really be serious about starting my journey over.
Okay. I like what you said about having a relationship with your finances.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, when you said that, I was like, never thought about, but to have that, that's a powerful statement and a connection to make you realize how that goes together. I guess that's that relationship. Just a strong word. It just really hit me to say, those things go together, and you know, they say money makes the world go round. You got to have it,
Yeah.
so to make that important, like a relationship, that was I like that.
You also said that you were just a regular girl working a 9 to 5. Is your 9 to 5 in finance?
It is not actually. And what's so funny about this journey, I love how like things come full circle. To backtrack a bit, when I first went to college, back in 2006, I went to ECU. I was majoring in
Party
accounting.
school?
Pirates. So I was like, I'm gonna major in accounting. I'm gonna become this CPA. I want to work in the corporate world with the money. So I get into my first accounting class and failed it. And I was like, okay, maybe it's not accounting. Maybe this is not it. and I knew that I wanted to like graduate in 4 years, and I was just struggling in my the business and finance major. So I decided to take a step back, and I moved over to social work. Um,
Yeah.
and my intention of going into social work was originally to work with youth who age out of foster care. I wanted to work with those who don't get adopted and then kind of get sent out into the real world and help with that
Mhm.
transition. But fast forward, I ended up going to grad school. I ended up working with the homeless population. And I ended up getting my license to do mental health. So right now I do therapy. I'm a therapist, a licensed clinical
Mm.
social worker. That's my like, I guess my main, you can say. Um and so what is fascinating to me is now I am so big on finances, but I also have been able to kind of correlate mental health and finances and how that impacts us. Financial stress, I always say, is a whole different ballpark, but
Mhm.
many people suffer with depression and anxiety, because of finances and
Mhm.
because of
Mm.
lack, or maybe it's hard when you feel like you don't have enough to make ends meet, and that can really really have a big impact on our mental health. And so providing therapy and now being able to incorporate the financial piece to it, it's all come together full circle. I felt like I always had a place in the finance world. And being able to go and get my license kind of allowed me to be able to approach and help people from a different kind of angle. Um, but I am currently soon to be a certified financial education instructor. And so,
Nice.
but I'm grateful for the journey that I took to get here. Way back when, I never would have imagined that this is how it all come together. Because I think I was disappointed in myself for not going through the accounting major, but I
Mhm.
realized I love helping people. I love connecting with others and just kind of meeting people where they're at. And
Mhm.
again, money is a very, very sensitive topic. And
Hmm.
so to be able to do that and help people with their finances, it just kind of came full circle for me.
So was it in college where you first saw the decline? Like, is that because I know college campuses are sometimes a breeding ground for um
Whew.
these yeah.
Yes, I
I don't
tell
even
you,
have the
like,
question out yet. But the
right.
predators, they come there and they just kind of prey on these young people. Is that
Yeah.
kind of where it started?
Yeah, I want to say it definitely did. It made it, I feel like it made it harder or worse in a sense. So, like, I started working when I was 16. It was my first job at Papa John's. And between then, like, I've always had, like, um, I had the lack of boundaries. I had this bleeding heart. So, like, I would always make my own money, but then I would always, like, just kind of mismanaging it or give it
Hmm.
away, trying to help save the world. And then going into college, it was even worse because yes, you get the free pizzas if you sign up for this credit card. They'll give you like the t-shirts, all the things. Now you kind of would think back, like, really, V, like, you signed up for a free pizza, like, yeah, like. And so there were like a lot of incentives and perks, and they they throw the idea of this free money and this credit without giving like the education and giving you the true risks that it involves.
Yeah.
And even with student loans, like, had I known or had I had the knowledge that I have now, then I would have made a lot of different decisions when it came to my student loans.
Mm.
And so that did play a big role in it. And then it, yeah, it didn't help.
Right, because I know like student loans, like once you pay it off, it's like, oh, this extra money.
Uh-huh.
Give me all of it. Run me all the
Yes,
money.
yes, all the money.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely been a journey.
So what were some of the biggest obstacles that you faced while trying to manage your budget and reduce your debt? We haven't talked about your debt yet. I don't know if you want to talk about that. And how did you overcome those obstacles?
Yeah, we can. I'm definitely, and one of the things about me is I definitely believe in like transparency. I it's so funny because a lot of times, even I'm still shocked that I'm as open as I am because I've never been like an all eyes on me type person. I've always loved to be behind the scenes. So I definitely am open to sharing whatever and anything. Um, the obstacles. So one of the challenging things was seeing, how much debt I had accumulated. When I first started this journey, I was like 77,100. It was like around that part. And that was just consumer debt. That's not including my student loans.
Wow.
Um, but so seeing it and then coming to terms with just, wow, V, like, this is debt that you're holding on to. And it was heavy, like, not even just
Mhm.
knowing that the numbers are there, but I felt it, like, it kinda was this weight that I carried every day, and in every payday, when you see your check going out to all of the minimum payments and all of the creditors, like, it was a burden that kinda going back to mental health, it was really draining and really taxing, and I even found myself, like, anxious and, struggling with depression because I felt like I was in this hole that I couldn't get out of. Um, I had to constantly remind myself that this debt had accumulated over the years, and it will take myself time to get out. But I also had to recognize that I'm not who I was then.
Mhm.
I am in a different space, and I recognize that, you know, I'm capable of doing better and having better for myself. Um, I had to sacrifice, and during the sacrifices, I kind of reminded myself constantly of what my end goal was. I just envisioned this life without debt, and envisioned this life of, getting my paychecks and, yes, paying my bills, but also having my money for me, or to invest or to save, like being able to spend more of
Hmm.
my own money. Um, and so I had to really look at what was working against me. I went to work with, so I've always been like a hustler, I guess you can say. I was a workaholic. I've been a workaholic all my life, which has its pros and cons. But I kind of just went to work, and I would pick up side hustles when I could. I worked at UPS for 8 months, and that was getting up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to go and
Ooh.
sort boxes. And I started picking up doing clients on the side and doing like my own private practice when it came to therapy. So I worked to increase my income, because honestly, I wasn't even living paycheck to paycheck. I was living paycheck to credit card. Like, I wasn't even making it to the next paycheck. And
Mhm.
so and then my issue was, I would get paid and then I would pay all my money towards my debt, but it would be like literally all my money. So I would throw the remain down to zero, to well, my check, not my debt. But then I would have to use my credit cards, because then I didn't have no money for gas. I didn't have money for food. I didn't have money just for day to day. So really trying to find that balance was an obstacle, because I knew I wanted the debt gone. But
Yeah.
I also knew that I had to be very strategic about how I did that.
I got you. So we know that the holidays are coming up. So I have kind of two questions. I don't know where to stick this one in there. So one thing I want to know before we leave, and you can answer this now, and you hit it on a little bit. Let me
Can I just say
oh,
though, when she just said, she said, because we always hear that saying, living paycheck to paycheck, and Veronica was like, "No, I wasn't even making it to the next
yeah,
paycheck.
I was a
Like,
paycheck to
Girl, I
paycheck.
was
I was,
not.
I was not making it to the next paycheck. I would have loved to been
Mm-mm.
living paycheck to paycheck.
Listen.
So like that's real.
Yeah, it is.
And it is, I just love this transparency, because there are a lot of people out there who can relate to what you're saying. But also you're gonna give us some tools to figure out how not to live like that, because when you're saying that you carry this debt, like your body carries it. Like
Yeah.
you, those ulcers, that toothache, those headaches, that's also part of your debt.
Hmm.
And it's one of the things, like, you really can't afford to keep
Mhm.
carrying that around. You can't afford to do that.
Absolutely.
So
Hmm.
Wayne
Exactly.
is bringing up the holidays.
Well, so I do want to bring up the holidays, but so yeah, I'm gonna go to the holidays, but I do have a question at the end. Toward the end, I was gonna answer the end, but yeah. So so with the so we're coming up on these holidays. So how do you stay motivated throughout this journey? You know, even though there's times where we feel, and the holidays, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves a lot of times,
Mhm.
and to have to do, and to we have to spend a certain amount to do these things. So how do you keep that motivation of saving at the same time, enjoy those holidays, and not feel bad about either one, because that's like double pressure now.
Yeah, and it's tough, and especially when someone gets you a gift, it's kind of like, oh man, like I feel like I need to get that person something, and or give back, and it is hard. I'm naturally a giver, so I definitely have to put boundaries in place for myself, and it is easier said than done. I Boundaries. I say all the time, I feel like boundaries literally saved my life. Not even just in finances, but just in general, with
Mhm.
setting those limitations with the people that I engage with or I give my energy to. But when it comes to spending money, I remind myself that my family is not going to measure the love I have for them by what I spend. And I also remind myself that there's so many other ways that I can show up for people, and support others without necessarily just having to spend on these elaborate gifts. And I'm open and have these conversations, with as far as family and finances, and because I also like to consider, I'm big on like considering other people's like their finances as well. So it's like, having discussions as far as like maybe instead of feeling like I need to buy a gift for everyone, do like a secret Santa thing. Me and
Mm.
my sisters this year, we began a new tradition of Christmas in July. So that
Mm.
we, instead of December, we kind of celebrate, made a Christmas party and exchanged gifts in July, and which takes away some of the pressure. I have a lot of nieces and nephews in December. But I really I set a plan of like who I desire to buy for, who I plan to buy for. I set numbers out, but I made sure to be realistic with myself. And I also recognize that it doesn't have to be an expensive gift to be thoughtful. And that, especially like, granted, little kids, I mean, we all love gifts, and little kids, of course, they look forward to receiving gifts. But um it's funny because I've been raised like with Christmas we had gifts under the tree, but I also recognize it wasn't about gifts, and being able to kind
Mm.
of still be grateful in that moment, and just during the holidays, like practicing gratitude as well is just helpful. But I make a plan, and ahead of time I kind of write out like a average or approximate amount that I'm willing to spend on a gift. um and I have like that amount set and I budget for it. I kind of just plan ahead for it. Um and and it is tough because I mean you're out shopping the holidays that you see things that you want, and even things that you didn't know that you wanted until you see it.
Mhm.
It's kind of hard to like I guess convince yourself or stop yourself sometimes from making that purchase, and especially if you have a credit card with an open limit or enough on it to just swipe it, because we don't really think about like long term in those moments. It's kind of like feeling that need, that desire in the moment. um and the holidays are my favorite time of the year, aside from it getting dark at 5 o'clock and being cold.
Right.
I love this season. But just really, I try to, one, budget and plan accordingly, and then I feel like I put more pressure on myself when it comes to gift giving and what, spending, than what the person is expecting or anticipating. And so just recognizing that I'm the gift, no, but like
Exactly.
like, but yeah, it's like just recognizing like when if you have like a goal in mind, if you're working on something, like kind of sticking to that and not allowing yourself to feel pressure to go above and beyond what you set. Like, make a plan and see if that's feasible for you. And
Mhm.
sometimes
Yeah.
we may need to revisit the plan, and or it could be a year of, hey, like, taking a year off, like, and there was last year, actually, or let's say the year before, there was a year I told my family that I was not going to be doing gifts. And kind of the way that I made up for it, I would, like, for birthdays for my nieces and nephews throughout the year, I would, and it was easier too, instead of trying to spend so much money at one time, like I could just
Right.
get like birthdays.
Hmm.
So finding like creative ways to work around, but also letting go of that pressure of feeling like you have to like, spend money to show love or to support or like be there, especially during the holidays, because the tangible things are always going to be just that, tangible. And I feel like what really people truly value and cherish is just being able to have that time with loved ones, and spend the time making memories, and just kind of engaging in that way and not necessarily spending money.
Yeah. So your sister Tiffany has entered the chat.
Mhm.
And it's kind of saying these same things, like set boundaries, like, and I understand. I'm also a social worker, so it's we are a certain kind of breed that go into that kind of work. Like we
Mhm.
already want to take all the babies home with us, you know. So we're already in, because we're in this kind of servant role. Like we are givers. We want to give, but setting those boundaries, like we have to real, and I think it hurts us probably more than it hurts them. But realizing that no is a complete sentence. Like,
It is.
No, I can't go out with y'all this weekend. Or no, I can't
Mhm.
buy that bag. Or no, I can't. Like sometimes it's no to ourselves that we need to be saying these things to, and sometimes it's no to other people. And Tiffany also said, create memorable gifts and create memories instead of going out and just wasting money. So
Yes.
Yeah.
that is all
I-
good information. And
Yeah.
again, don't and I guess allowing ourselves grace, like don't fall in the pit of kind of being depressed because you think because you were not able to get somebody a gift that they are going to think less of you, especially not your family.
Mhm.
And I love the idea of coming up with alternative things. Christmas in July sounds really good. Like don't look
Now,
for me
now,
after
now, now,
Thanksgiving because
hold on. Now,
wait.
now, Veronica, hold on, hold on. Now, I want you to clarify something. Now, she didn't.
It's
She didn't say you
Two
having two
Christmases.
Christmases now. She didn't say that. That ain't what she said.
Christmas
And
in
and for
July
and for,
and
and
December.
for
Oh,
all of
she
those
didn't say
out,
that.
and
That ain't what she
for
said.
all of those people out there who ran through your house and ran and got on the phone and called all your friends and said, I just heard of a great idea from Veronica who told us how to save money. We can have two Christmases. That ain't what she
Yeah,
said.
we know that's not
She,
what she did. That's
she
not what she
said,
did.
Right.
she said, split it
Abort.
up.
And another thing, so
Yeah.
this really feels like a personal session for me too, Veronica, because
And
you
me.
talk about like impulse buying, like when you said you buy things you don't even know that you need, like that's me. Um,
Yeah.
and like these big box stores, like Sam's, like I don't even need nothing when I go. I just like to go in there because it's the kind of it's a form of self care for me. Like walking around,
Mhm.
and sometimes Wayne will say, "What you going? Where you going there for?" It's like I don't know, but I'll know when I see it. I don't know what I
Yeah.
need till I get there and I see it.
Yeah.
So just and it's these little things that we will find will make so much more. Like it'll make a big difference,
Mhm.
and then I'll be able to take another vacation. Like
Yes.
you got to save your money.
That's a whole that's a so do vacations in July, could that like count as Christmas in July? Can we
No,
can we
these are these are separate
I'm
things.
asking the money person. I'm not I'm asking the financial advisor.
No,
I
I'm
know
gonna
your
relieve her.
answer.
I'm gonna
I
relieve
know
her of
your
that
answer.
question.
I
I'm
know
gonna
your
say
answer.
every situation is unique. So
Good
maybe
answer, Veronica.
but no, you really when it comes to spending, because I mentioned like sacrifices earlier, and in the beginning of my journey, and still now, like I realized that there were things that I was gonna have to give up, like couldn't get my nails done, every 2 weeks. It's been a year. I did get my nails done once this year, but then I realized I wasn't ready for that yet, for that bill. But
Mm,
I kind of let that go, and I still like to get pedicures. So I find a balance. Like I don't
yeah.
just completely
Mhm.
restrict myself of everything, because one of the reasons why I've been unsuccessful in the past on this journey, because I felt like, okay, since I was in debt, I didn't deserve, to treat myself. I didn't deserve
Mm.
self-care. I needed to pay my dues to society, or what I've built up. And but I started some small sacrifices. I would get my hair done, but I would stretch my hairstyles a little more. Um I actually, me locking was something that I've always thought about doing, but it also helped me with my hair journey, because, instead of spending hundreds of dollars, every other month or every couple months for braids, like I have my easy, just up and go style. Um,
Oh,
I accidentally became a minimalist. Like I'm not like an extreme minimalist, but when
yeah.
I realized like how much stuff I just had in my house that I spent money on that I'd never used, or like I became very more conscientious about my purchases. I'm a girl who lived in TJ Maxx. At the hint of any crisis, I was at TJ Maxx going to buy me a bag. At any accomplishments, I was in TJ Maxx buying me a bag. You know, if I was bored, I was in TJ Maxx buying me a bag. Like, and so I had to recognize like I I can limit myself without restricting like myself, or without like taking away or diminishing my quality of life, you know, but I can still allow myself to learn moderation and kind of learn sort of how, you know, just kind of being careful, and again sort of looking into like what's really needed or necessary. um and being on necessary, because it's like during this time of, I know that money was tight and I knew that I wanted to start throwing this money at debt, so there were things that I definitely even with like takeout, you know, or eating out, I
Mm,
never being in the kitchen has not always been my favorite place to be. I'm more
me
of a
neither,
plate.
girl.
I bring the plates and the cups, you know, I'll bring the rolls.
Yep, yep.
And so even like that's kind of different, like with me cooking more and trying to do like more um things at home in the kitchen, and just kind of help with decreasing eating out. Like Bojangles. I used to eat Bojangles. I still eat Bojangles a lot, but I probably was there like too many times. I'm kind of ashamed to even tell you. My manager asked me
Oh,
one
don't
time,
be ashamed. Don't
Don't
be
be saying. I
she
ashamed.
said,
probably
"Who?"
saw you. I don't know which one you went to, but I was probably there in the line with you. We were probably in the building at the same place. Yeah.
She's like, "Who eats a three-wing dinner for breakfast?" And I'm like,
Hey. Yeah.
He like,
and
mind
and
your business.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you know,
Exactly.
and getting my finances in order, it also helped me. Like, I feel like it comes full circle in other areas of life too, because I, you know, started wanting to take care of my body more, and you know, being in the kitchen helped me eat better. And then I started like working out, you know, more. And it when you start to see like that you can improve in one area of your life, I
Mm,
feel like it helps motivate you and encourage you to know like you're capable of, you can do it like all, and work
yeah.
on multiple areas of your life. And it's just funny how getting money finances in order can kind of bleed over into that. But yeah, I had to. And then one of my issues, um the guilt that I had and the shame that I carried that's attached to my debt, some of my debt should not have even been mine. I lacked boundaries. I had this bleeding heart, and I would often overextend myself or my support. And it got
Hmm.
to a point where people in my life didn't even have to come and ask. They could just come and tell me their story. They can
Mm,
come and just kind of give me this sob story, and I'm immediately like, okay, let's figure it out, you know.
yeah.
um and granted, and yes, I've had people in my life I know that took advantage of me, like intentionally. They knew they were what they were doing. And then I had people in my
Mm,
life where I recognize it's kind of like it's hard to, like, if I'm offering it, like no one's gonna be like, no, I don't want help with my rent, you know. And I it's like I couldn't completely blame or fault other people, because it was me who lacked the boundary. It was me who needed to learn the power of no. And you
yeah.
know, the power of, okay, I can help you find some resources. I may not be necessarily be this, you know, the safety net or the resource for you, but there are other ways of kind of going into like helping people find like what they need. And so even to this day, my desire to have this debt gone is really driven. A lot of it is driven by the fact that I attach so much of the old me to it. And so I again, I started off at 77. I'm now
Mm.
over a little 65,000 paid off.
Okay. Girl,
I'm
But
at
go ahead.
12,100. Um but it's thank you. It's
How
been a
long? How
journey.
long? How long was that? Like, and you paid that off
So
in how long? From
I
77 to 65.
March 2022 was when I started this
Okay.
journey.
Well,
2
Um
about
years.
2.5 years.
Yes.
yeah. And it just I listed my debts in order. So I had to figure out exactly what I was looking at. And these, so I first of all too, I mentioned I split my debts up into consumer debt and then my student loan debt. My student loan is just another beast that I will be attacking later. I wanted to get
Listen,
to
we looking to get
Uh,
those things
yeah.
forgiven.
Well, I'm hoping they're forgiven, but if not, the Lord gonna forgive them when I go to glory.
listen. I think he
So I
will.
mean, I'm not,
But
that's good.
Veronica is working on them.
So
She's
I
working
think he
on
got
them.
us.
somebody gonna forgive these loans. It's either gonna be Kamala or the Lord. So if one or
Yes,
the other, and
yes,
I'm gonna
yes,
accept it from either one.
yes. And so my consumer debt that included like I had credit cards and then I had like store cards, um, personal loans, and
Mm,
my car payment I had that, and then the thing about my personal loans, kind of going back to when I first was trying to get out of debt thing, I would like get a loan consolidation and I would pay off my credit cards to zero and then I would have this loan consolidation loan, but then I still had these credit cards. And what did I do? I would go and run this credit cards
Yeah.
back up. So many
Yes.
a lot of people ask about loan consolidations and they ask if it's worth working or getting into. And I always say only if you can address your behavior.
That's
And
right.
yeah.
That's right.
that's I think that's why I'm so like excited and like I love doing this because it's really behavior. Like, yes, income is important. I'm not knocking that. Yes, we do need to make enough to like, pay our bills, but what are you doing with what you're making?
Mhm.
And sometimes we have to examine like what type of like are we emotional spenders? Do we lack boundaries? Are we spending on things that we necessarily don't need in the moment, that instant gratification. um are we making like impulse decisions? It's like, are we spending time before we thinking about like these purchases? And I used to be horrible. Like, i I had a Kia, a 2013 Kia. Right now I drive a Jeep that I just recently paid off. But before that I had a Kia that one day I got in my car and my check engine light came on. So instead of being rational and going to like a Firestone or a Precision Tune, I drove to the dealership, to the Jeep dealership. I didn't even go to the Kia dealership. I went to the Jeep dealership and I traded her in. I traded her in. I drove off with a new car and I was like, that solves that. And I'm like, Veronica, do you
Mm,
know like you just made this $30,000 decision for a check engine light that you
Mm.
probably could have. And a lot of that too was I just wanted something new and I wanted something like, I just, and we had that like social media, like the pressure of just
Yes.
spending money and buying things. Like, it's pushed, like we're pushed to like get the upgrades, we're pushed to buy the new clothes and the new shoes. And that can be hard because a lot of people, they may kind of, going back to the emotion piece, they may tie their value to that, and they
Yeah.
may tie their value to what they have, what they can show people, what they can present. And even when I was in the debt that I was in, like, unless you, even when you knew me, you really wouldn't have known, because I was paying my bills, paying my rent. Like, I was still living my life, but I
mm.
knew, like, behind
Hmm.
scenes, that it was not going to be sustainable for me or my future.
Yeah, and that's good too. Like trying to keep up with the Joneses, and the Joneses are out here drowning in debt.
Look, they
Like
lying. They lying.
That's right. That's right.
they lying.
Yeah.
I see Tiffany. Tiffany over here. She must be Team Wayne. Gonna tell me I don't need to go to the big box stores no
Now
more.
I didn't want to put
Like
that.
Tiffany.
I didn't want to put that on the
Tiffany.
screen. But Tiffany, I'm down with you. Tell
Tiffany.
her she don't need to go
Sometimes,
no more.
sometimes I need 27 rolls of tissue. Okay, I need it.
And I'm gonna say 27 more rolls because we got some.
And the house might not be full, but believe you me, they stop by here because they know I done stop by the big box stores. They stop by here, do their shopping, and then head on about their business.
Mhm.
Um,
Tiffany,
so
Tiffany Tiffany also said that's
I don't
good.
want you to talk to Tiffany. Don't
No,
talk
no.
to Tiffany.
Tiffany's got some good advice because she did say you had some good advice. We had to address those behaviors, and
Oh yeah,
that is crucial.
yeah.
Because I
And
mean,
that's with anything. That's with dieting. Ain't no need to go out and get these diet pills. these shots, if you ain't gonna change your, your behavior, your
Yeah.
eating habit, like
Yup.
it's
Yeah.
you have to have a different mindset.
You have to
Yes.
be disciplined.
So we're running
Yes.
out of time. Veronica, I appreciate you coming on. So talk to us a little bit about Black Girl Money Woes, how you came up with that name, and then tell us how you plan to continue helping others and how we
Yes.
can support you in this journey.
Yes. So Black Girl Money Woes, I really never planned for it to go beyond like this Instagram page. And then after really people started reaching out and telling me like that they were inspired, and that alone is just mind boggling. But I definitely want to facilitate workshops surrounding topics regarding financial literacy, teaching someone like the basics, the foundational pieces, making sure that people realize like you don't have to make a certain amount of money to budget what you have, teaching them the skills and tools on how do I get started with saving, how do I create a budget, what should be in my budget, what do I do when, I am feeling overwhelmed. I feel like a big part of my success has been the accountability that I receive by posting my journey, and
Mm,
Mm.
um that transparency and accountability is huge, and I want to show that to others, kind of like what you were saying earlier about the people we vote for, that accountability and being able to connect with them. But I want to, like, I feel like accountability is a life changer, and it plays a big role, and how we stick, if we stick to things, I feel like, um and just showing like what consistency can do, because this again, like, it's a big number, but it took like time, and there were days where I was burnt out, and days where I myself was kind of overwhelmed and just tired of this. But I want to connect with groups, and whether, that's at schools and organizations, at churches, like I want to meet with people and figure out like what it is that they feel like is really keeping them kind of held down, or kind of feeling suppressed or chained by their financial situation. It's not a one size fits all. There's no one like route to take. And so I just want to be able to create a supportive community where individuals can share their experiences, and I give them strategies and kind of help them talk and show that, hey, this is possible. I have a website, blackgirlmoneywoes.com, that I have created and still kind of up and building. But people can reach out to me. Follow me on Instagram. My hashtag is Black Girl Money Woes. Um, it's BOK Girl Money Woes, on Instagram,
but
and
the
I'm
the
mhm.
website is spelled out Black Girl Money Rose.
Oh, the BOK for the website as well.
Okay, BLK Girl Money Rose.
.com. And so yeah, I definitely I offer, if someone wants to speak about doing a workshop or facilitating a class, a session, offer free like consultation, so we can kind of talk about like what the need is and what the desire is, because it also, there's different, we're all in different places and different populations. So whether we're working with, talking with young adults who are getting ready to go out on their own, or
That's
wanting
big.
to make their first big purchases,
Mhm.
or if you
Yeah.
are wants to prepare for retirement, or you just kind of want to have an
Yes,
emergency
retirement.
saving. Yes.
Tiff-
And so yeah, that's
I'm
my
sorry, I
goal. I
said,
just
Veronica, you're going to have to come back because this retirement thing is a whole nother question. Because
I feel like Veronica can come back and do. When you said that some people's value are tied to those things that they keep buying, we could do an entire hour on that. Like, we could do an entire hour on that.
she
But
want
yeah,
to, she
she's
want
already.
to,
I'm saving in my 401k. Veronica, I'll have 20 years with my job next year, and I'm at 20 years. I can
Oh
go.
she
yay.
trying to retire and have Christmas in July, December,
Veronica
February,
is going to
April.
help me with this saving. I'm gonna have my job take some more money out of my check, put it into the savings account. That could be my Christmas pot of money.
Ooh,
You see, it's
Jesus,
working. It's already
hallelujah.
working. I'm
Love
thinking
it. I
already,
love to see
Veronica.
it.
Run everything past her,
Oh,
please.
we already signed up, got the ebook.
Okay.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
Okay, you ready? Okay.
I
Yes, I did.
am.
I created an ebook and it just kind of gives some basic foundation and principles and to help like those who are ready to get started on their journey. And so that's available on my website as well.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Awesome.
Well, Veronica, if you've ever been on a cruise,
I
um,
have.
when
I
you
love
so
cruises.
when you go on a cruise, you know how when you get on the cruise, they they give you the world. I mean, they take your luggage, they give you everything. They are just so nice to you. But when it comes time to get off that cruise, they just like won't get off this boat by 7. You getting off at 6, 7, or 8. We ain't carrying no bags. Get out of here. So we try not to disembark like that on this on our voyage. But what we do on the disembarkation, we do like to give our disembarkation every voyage that we go on. So it's just pearls of wisdom. It's just the nuggets. It's just whatever um, you know we just have at the moment. So as we begin to disembark from this journey, we want to allow you to give all of our people who joined us this evening our disembarkation, and thank you again for being here. Thank you for all that you do, and I think it's encouraging to know that you found yourself in that situation, but that didn't mean you had to stay in that situation. And you can you can make it back. It may
Yes,
take a little bit of time, but it's never too you're never too far gone.
absolutely.
To do that. So yeah. So however you would like to disembark us this evening.
Um, just know, uh, let's see. I guess I would lead, the people were saying like, start, just make the decision.
Mhm.
Um, and that's where it begins, making the decision that you want better. Because when you truly decide that you want better, you will start figuring out those what steps it takes to get to where you want, and the rest will fall into place. And reach out, and you're not alone. And there's help out there, and just start and get off the
I
boat.
like that. Just start. Just start.
All right.
That's
All right.
good.
Well, thank you again. If you want to hold on a few seconds, we can see you in a few minutes, but we will say again, thank
Thank you.
you and good evening. And we're definitely going to have you back. But again, thank you for all that you have given us this evening. So we want everybody to please
Thank
shout
you.
out and give a thanks to Miss Veronica, the founder of Black Girl Money Woes. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. So I'll start my disembarkation with just saying like we just got a lot of information from Veronica on her financial journey. And the fact that she is not a financial professional, um, really spoke to me. And so what I would say is confidence is not always being right, but it comes sometimes with not being afraid to be wrong, or to do things differently. So, and I'll just piggyback off what Veronica said. Just start. Like, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to start. The journey of a million miles starts with the first step. Some great philosopher said that.
One of them.
One of them.
Yep. So kind of like when I was explaining to Veronica kind of our disembarkation thing that we do, just to encourage those. I mean, she said she was, almost $77,000 in debt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, started, made up in her mind that she was going to start to do something different, and she did. And sometimes we allow the shame of our decisions and situations that we've got ourselves in to make that even more difficult. So just to know whether it's finances, whether it's in relationships, whether it's job, no matter what those decisions are, no matter where we find ourselves in life, no matter where, we always have time to come back, and we can come back. So just know that wherever you're at on this journey, you can turn it around and you can come back, and know that you have the ability to do that. She says she's had some help and some resources, and know that there's some help and resources in life for you. So just know that no matter again where you find yourself at, if you don't like where you're at, if you find yourself being in places where you don't want to be, know that you can turn those things around, and you have the ability and the power to come back. And you didn't get in that situation. She didn't get in that situation in a day or overnight. It took time.
Yep.
So it takes time for us to get back to where we want to be. So take the time, put in the work, and do those things. And, that confidence continues to build. And when she said, she started saving and cooking and work, all of those things began to just give you more confidence to do other things. So know you can do that. Know you can do that.
Yes. All right. That will do it for us. Go out and vote. The next time we see you, we will have a new president.
Yes.
Make sure you have we'll go out and make your voice heard. Early voting in North Carolina is through Saturday at 3:00. And then final day for voting is Tuesday, November the 5th. Go do it.
Yes.
Go vote. Get out and vote.
And if you're out there at the polls and you see any type of voter suppression, any type of voter harassment, any type of voter interference, anything that is making people uncomfortable at the polls, if you feel uncomfortable at the polls, 866 our vote, 888 our vote. Both of those lines go to people who are waiting and taking information about things that are happening at polls. If you see a situation, you can take pictures, you can send them. Once you call those numbers, they'll tell you where to send. But you can, just make sure to report things that you may see, so we can make sure that everyone has, not only the right to vote, but the ability to do that and be comfortable about it. So until we meet on this journey again, I need a horn.
I thought we had one.
It's at the end, so I got to find one to put on here. But again, thank y'all for joining us this evening, and we'll see y'all in 2 weeks. We'll be back. We'll be back at the dock
with a new president. New local officials.
Yes.
Y'all go vote. No, maybe.
Please
go.